Today, we're gonna review one of the most popular toys of all time, the Jabba the Hutt action playset. But is it an actual playset or just an action figure with cool accessories? There's a debate out there. We're gonna find out the history of this action figure, review it, and let you know everything there is to know about it. So let's go. Welcome back to the journey. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I collect vintage Star Wars toys. And in my last run, I collected the entire Star Wars Kenner line of action figures made from 1977 to 1985. And I started from scratch, meaning that I started with no figures. And I collected the entire set. It took me a little over a year, but if you want to go back and binge watch that series, please do, as it's going to give you a lot of insight on what we're doing in this new series. I'm collecting every single one of the US released Kenner Star Wars playsets made from 1977 to 1985. And again, I'm crazy enough to start from the beginning. Last week, we collected the Death Star space station, but this week, it's the Jabba the Hutt action playset from 1983. Released in 1983 for the Return of the Jedi line of toys, Jabba the Hutt was originally going to be a human, and in these deleted scenes from the original 1977 Star Wars movie, now known as A New Hope, we can see the intention George Lucas had for the character. But actually, in the original script for Star Wars, it described Jabba as a slug-like creature with eyes on extended feelers and a huge ugly mouth. In that deleted scene, Jabba was going to be replaced with a stop-motion character, but when it was dropped in the edit to make the movie's pacing faster, there was no need to develop that character any further. But once the concepting for Return of the Jedi started coming up, Lucas revisited his original ideas for Jabba, this time opting away from stop motion and instead as a puppet. And there was a lot of inspiration behind Jabba's design, but basically it all came down to two references: the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland and Sidney Greenstreet's character, Signor Ferrari from Casablanca. The initial designs were from ILM designer Phil Tippett. The puppet in the movie weighed 1 ton and took 3 months and $500,000 to construct. The puppet was designed by the same person who designed Yoda, Stuart Freeborn. Jabba's puppet took 3 people to operate, and all of these operators were from Jim Henson's Muppet fame. Jabba's voice was delivered by an uncredited Larry Ward, although his boomy voice was pitched down an octave lower. And if you're a John Williams fan, then you know that the tuba-driven theme for Jabba was lifted from an earlier work of John Williams that he created for a Dick Van Dyke movie called Fitzwilly. Now, when it comes to the Kenner designed Jabba the Hutt, there is some information that not a lot of people know about. There are 4 different types of country of origin variants for the Jabba the Hutt toy, all made in Hong Kong, but there have been 4 different stamp layouts. Although there are versions of Jabba that Kenner employees could buy that had no country of origin at all, and those are floating around in the market as well. There's also several box variants of the Jabba the Hutt playset. There is the Sears line art version, but this box was also found in stores other than Sears, but collectors have dubbed this the Sears box. Then there's the US released Kenner version, the Kenner Canada version, the European bi-logo box, the Mexican Lily Ledy version, which uses a different photograph from all the other boxes. And in some extreme rare cases, you can find this factory deployment box that was used to ship parts in between factories. So if you have a Jabba focus, there's another rabbit hole for you. You're welcome. There are some variations to the Jabba figure with paint applications, most notably in the Lily Ledy version, which has a yellower tummy than the other factory versions, a soft head that you can actually squish, and the arms are lighter in color. And here are some Jabba prototypes. You can see here an early concept prototype mold and what this concept would have looked like fully assembled and painted. And here's the metal rotocast of the head and the body and tail. The plastic would be poured into here for the cast to be set. And here is a super rare first shot prototype. And this is from Mighty Jabba's Collection YouTube channel, but it shows a cross section of how the inside mechanism works. There's a link to check out this episode in the description below. And you can find a number of these Jabba playset parts still in baggies for cheap prices being sold at toy cons, online, or at your local toy shop. So before we go into the playset parts, where I got it and how much I got this for, let's find out what these are going for in today's market.
When it debuted in 1983, it went for $11.99, which with inflation in today's prices is $35.19. So not too bad for a toy that is arguably one of the best known characters in all of Star Wars. You can find complete loose examples of the US release Kenner versions on eBay for averages of around $130, in open boxes with sealed contents for about $300, and mint in sealed box grails for prices coming in around $400 to $450, and graded examples at an 80 falling short of just $2,000.
But on this current run, I'm just looking for a great example inside a great looking box.
Now, I already have two Jabbas. One I have for my childhood collection, but the Jabba action figure is all that remains of it. I got this on Christmas Day in 1983, and this was my favorite centerpiece for my toys. The arm comes off, and if you have this toy, be careful of that, as the plastic welding on the arm joint is super fragile, and I see this happen a lot in other people's collections. And a fun fact that the toy has 3 fingers on his right hand and 4 fingers on his left. And I also have a complete Jabba the Hutt playset that I got while on my loose action figure run. And I have it in this case made by a company called Collector Displays.
So for my boxed version, I wanted something special, something different, something I haven't collected before. When I saw this pop up on a Deal or No Deal on a Facebook group called the Vintage Alliance, I had to snag it.
So when you get playsets shipped to you, I would really suggest buying from a trusted seller who knows how to package items like these. I'm sure that the plastic toys inside will survive the journey, but now you're dealing with a 40-year-old cardboard box inside that you don't want damaged. And I got this seller vouched for and saw the collectors he sold to, and he did a great job with this shipment.
And here is what this complete playset comes with.
The Kenner box has art depicting various scenes using the playset, and the box I got is in very good shape. And looking at the original price sticker, it was marked down from $14.99, so I wonder what it actually sold for. And inside the box is the throne that has 2 monster gargoyle heads already attached to it, and the trapdoors are also attached. And inside a sealed baggie is the armrest with the other 2 monster heads already inside. In another baggie is the hookah that comes with the top glass, the bottom glass container, and the pipe attached to a black string. Also inside the sealed baggie is a slave chain. And then we have the 2 action figures. This one is sealed, and it's the Salacious Crumb figure. And I've seen instances where the tail has become detached inside the baggie, and one instance where Kenner bagged 2 tails inside the baggie, one attached and one floating in the bag. And then we have the almighty Jabba himself. And this one comes with a non-sealed baggie Jabba, but still, it comes in a plastic baggie. Then we have the paper inserts. This one comes with 2 cardboard inserts, one that lines against the throne and the other that houses Jabba and the other accessories. Then finally, we have the instruction sheet and the Kenner mini catalog. And all of these pieces are in fantastic shape. But I'm not gonna rip these open and set it up, but instead, I'll show you what this looks like when it's all put together. And looking at the detail in this piece, it's absolutely amazing. And I think it's one of the staples of anyone's Star Wars collection, as this acts as a centerpiece in any diorama that a vintage toy collector could have. It's not that big in stature like the Death Star space station, but for world building and display, this is amazing. The detail in Jabba himself, with the molded features on his skin and the awesome paint application, even the way the plastic feels on his arms and its head, very high quality. Then the red eyes that really make this action figure come to life. Jabba has articulation in his arms and tail. You make the tail move by swiveling his torso. You can place the slave chain to Salacious Crumb, and this chain runs through one of the center gargoyles, but we all know who this chain is really for. Salacious only has 1 point of articulation, and that's in the tail. But the detail in the face and the paint application in the body makes this a great rendition of him. And I remember friends of mine putting green water in the hookah chamber, but when I had mine, I kept it pure and simple. Now, this piece for the hookah chamber, the valve, which pipes up, often that comes broken. So make sure to check for that when you are buying one of these. And make sure that the plastic domes on the hookah aren't cracked and that they are clear and not fading yellow or getting misty and cloudy. At least if you want this in pristine factory condition. The The throne itself is a masterpiece. On the bottom is the Country of Origin stamps and the Lucasfilm Limited stamps. All along the sides of the throne, it's molded to look like very heavy stone, which is great detail. The front has the gargoyle heads. The two center ones are stationary and have holes to place the slave chain through, but the outer two gargoyles turn like a knob and allow for you to open the trap door. And the detail of the doors themselves are amazing. The designers at Kenner really got this right and kept to that Tatooine feel that was inside Jabba's palace. Inside the dungeon part where Jabba sits is awesome. Molded designs that depict the unfortunate souls that have perished and are decaying from Jabba's wrath or amusement, or probably both. So the last piece of the puzzle is protecting the box and contents inside. It's 40-year-old cardboard, and I like to fit my box collectibles inside custom acrylic cases. There are a lot of companies you can go with, but just do your research and find ones that are close to your area. That way you can save on shipping.
Now, there is some debate on whether this is an actual playset, and the collectors who say no, it's not a playset, categorize this into a creatures category, like with a Rancor, a Wampa, or a Tauntaun. So I put out a poll on YouTube asking that very question, playset or creature category, and the results are pretty clear. The majority say playset, and I said I would honor that poll result, so it looks like I'm putting this guy inside my playset list.
So let's go ahead and do that, making this number 16 of my collection. And I got this from a deal or no deal offer on the Vintage Alliance Facebook group from a seller named Jack O. And I got this for $275. And I got the acrylic from Ian's Displays for $40.
So what did you think of the playset that I got, both in quality and for the price? And I know that all the items are baggied and sealed, but I'm glad that I got it that way, as I do love to see all of these toys come in the most pristine state as possible. And I love preserving these 40-year-old toys that way. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have the loose version along with it. That way I get that visceral feel and connection with it. And with other playsets that I collect on this run, if they come with items sealed in baggies or a mint-in sealed box, then I'll either borrow a playset from a friend, try and rent it. That way I can show you all the working parts and what that playset comes with and how to set them up. That's the most difficult part, because some of these I've never seen before. And if I can't borrow or rent a loose example, then I'll just buy it if the price is right. And if it's a playset that's extra special to me. And speaking of items that I've never played with, on next week's episode, I'll be going into uncharted territory with something I have never owned before, and really something I have no idea how to put together. So come back next week to watch a Padawan really open something for the first time. And if you like this episode, please hit that like button. That does support the channel. And if you want to see more Star Wars and collecting content from me, then please consider subscribing. And also, hit that notification bell so you know when episodes go live. I post videos every Sunday with bonus content throughout the week. And for all of you who stayed this long, you know that this is the part of the show where I announce giveaways. And I do have a pretty big giveaway coming up pretty soon. And one of my viewers and one of my YouTube channel members named Joe R sent me an amazing gift in the mail with some amazing contents, not for me, but for you guys. And he wrote a letter. Hey Padawan, I acquired a large assortment of vintage Kenner from my brother-in-law. And when I inventoried everything, not only did it nearly complete my own loose collection run, dude, congratulations on that, but there were a handful of extra accessories too. Some of them were from the last 17 figures. Nice. I don't want to profit from something that I got for next to nothing from my wife's family, so I am donating them to you for giveaways. And this is why I love the collecting community. So enclosed are one black Endor blaster, and I think what he sent is for an A-Wing. Two black Palace blasters. Those are hard and expensive to find. One black Leia blaster, one blue Leia blaster, one TIE pilot blaster. And I also tossed in a near mint gray-haired old Ben with a nice sharp saber tip. I know a few of these command high prices, so hopefully it will save someone a decent amount of money on their own collection. Your content remains outstanding and I look forward to each of your videos. Thank you, Joe. Not only that, but you do really epitomize the best virtues of this community. Well, with what you did, you epitomize the best virtues of this community. So thanks to Joe, we're gonna have a really amazing giveaway. And that's super generous of Joe, and that's why I love this collecting community. So you heard it here first. On the next giveaway I do, these items will be available. So stay tuned right here on YouTube to find out. And to get extra insider info on what exact episode that it's gonna be on, join me on Facebook at the Padawan Academy. And there's a link for that group in the description of this video. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.
If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.